Chapter 6. Achoo. Bless you, Lady Vivienne, Milo said with politeness. Thank you, Sir Milo. Vivienne expressed her gratitude. Vivienne couldn't help but voice her internal complaint. Why is the male lead always in such a hurry? The very moment I returned from my break and took a single step into the office, he abruptly whisked Sir Milo and me away, pulling us into a carriage bound for the north. Couldn't he have spared a moment for me to grab a few snacks? I'm about to witness a dramatic scene unfold, and I yearn for something to munch on. Sir Milo, did you happen to bring any chocolate? Vivienne whispered discreetly, hoping to keep her request hidden from the grumpy crown prince. Yes, I did bring some. Should we offer it to the crown prince now? Milo inquired. I wasn't asking for him, it was for myself, Vivienne responded honestly. For you. But why would you require chocolate? Milo questioned, although he still handed over the chocolate to Vivienne. You'll see. Besides, if you have enough for yourself, feel free to enjoy them. I have a hunch that we won't be needing them after this journey, Vivienne declared confidently, though Milo harbored some skepticism. Now then, it's time to sit back, relax, and let the male lead's luck work its magic, Vivienne thought to herself, settling comfortably in her seat. As she glanced outside the carriage, she noticed that every inch was blanketed in a thick layer of snow. Vivienne found herself captivated by the scenic view when she suddenly spotted a familiar figure sprinting. Is that His Highness? Vivienne exclaimed aloud, hoping to catch Milo's attention. His Highness? Milo pondered, his curiosity piqued. Look over there, isn't that His Highness? He's the only one who didn't bother to dress warmly. It's unlikely anyone in the north would wear something like that, Vivienne commented, recalling the questionable choice of outfit by the crown prince. Despite Milo's insistence on wearing a thicker shirt, His Majesty settled for a stylish coat and deemed it sufficient. Vivienne couldn't complain too much though, as she rather enjoyed the daring fashion choice that showcased a boob window shirt. That is His Highness. After a few moments of searching, Milo finally caught sight of the crown prince and promptly dashed out of the carriage to follow him. Vivienne hesitated, momentarily caught between the decision of whether to follow Milo or remain in the comfort of the cozy, warm carriage. The male lead's luck seems to unfold swiftly. Should I miss out on the upcoming drama and preserve my tranquility? After all, Sir Milo can always fill me in on what happens, Vivienne contemplated. Eventually she made up her mind to stay within the comfort of the carriage but instructed the driver to keep a close eye on Milo's figure, ensuring she wouldn't miss any important developments. 10 minutes later. As Vivienne made her fashionably late arrival, she found herself amidst a heated exchange between a woman with striking pink hair and piercing blue eyes and the crown prince. Meanwhile, Sir Milo stood a short distance away, nonchalantly indulging in his chocolate. The drama is unfolding before my eyes. That must be Lady Ava Silverwood with her distinctive pink hair, Vivienne pondered with excitement. By the time Vivienne reached the scene, the fiery argument between the two main characters had simmered down. I did this for you. My only desire is to see you happy, the crown prince stated, causing Ava to feel a warm affection towards him. All right, I'll go with you to the royal palace, Ava replied, agreeing to his request. I just need to pack my things. Great, the crown prince grinned with a sense of victory. Before leaving, he turned to the two secretaries and gave them instructions. Make sure Ava is taken care of and arrange for her to ride in the same carriage as me. Yes, Your Highness, the two secretaries responded simultaneously. Sir Milo, Vivienne addressed him as soon as the crown prince had departed. Yes, Lady Vivienne, Milo replied with a friendly smile. What happened? Vivienne inquired, noticing the crown prince's uncharacteristically cheerful demeanor. Vivienne's curiosity got the better of her as she couldn't help but wonder, what could have sparked such an argument? Did the crown prince once again engage in foolish behavior? And that final remark. It almost feels like gaslighting. Milo let out a sigh and proceeded to explain the situation. His Highness spotted Lady Silverwood because of her distinctive hair color, prompting him to impulsively leave the carriage in an attempt to catch up with her. Lady Silverwood was taken aback by the sudden encounter, but she quickly recognized the crown prince. His Highness insisted that she owed him for something, although I'm unsure of the details. However, Lady Silverwood firmly stated that she owed him nothing. This led to a heated exchange between the two. Eventually, It seems that Lady Silverwood agreed to something, given the circumstances by the time you arrived. I see. So you were enjoying the spectacle while indulging in your chocolate, Vivienne inquired. Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it, Milo replied with delight. I'm ready, Ava announced, causing the two secretaries to snap back into their professional demeanor. I didn't realize it before, but she looks absolutely breathtaking. Her beauty is truly mesmerizing, Vivienne thought to herself, momentarily captivated by Ava's appearance. However, she quickly composed herself, reminding herself of the importance of making a good impression. I must present myself professionally and make a favorable impression. Perhaps she can be the one to rescue me from the clutches of that infuriating crown prince. Please follow me, Lady Silverwood, Vivienne said. Allow me to carry your belongings, Milo offered. The two secretaries ensured that Ava received impeccable customer service, which left her feeling unfamiliar with such attentive treatment. The carriage ride back to the capital was uneventful, but Vivienne couldn't shake off her increasing worry throughout the journey. She understood that now that she had encountered the female protagonist, the relentless waves of drama were bound to crash into her life, leaving her exhausted and burdened with headaches. Sir Milo, it feels like we're going to be quite busy in the coming days, Vivienne commented. I can't remember a time when we weren't occupied with something, Milo responded, causing Vivienne to let out a laugh. After laughing, Vivienne felt a sense of relief as her worries were eased and her confidence was given a boost. As the carriage reached the capital, Vivienne swiftly stood up from her seat, collected Ava's belongings, and positioned herself in front of Ava's carriage, eagerly awaiting her arrival. When Ava steps down, she was startled to see Vivienne waiting for her with a smile. Ava, I'll see you later, the crown prince bid farewell before departing, leaving Ava in the company of Vivienne. Vivienne couldn't help but wonder about the conversation that took place inside the carriage. The sight of the crown prince's beaming smile and Ava's blushing cheeks indicated that something positive must have transpired between them. Lady Silverwood, please follow me to your new chambers, Vivienne said, leading the way with Ava in tow. During the carriage ride, Vivienne and Milo had meticulously planned for Ava's seamless arrival. While Vivienne guided Ava through the royal palace, Milo took charge of informing the staff and ensuring everything was prepared. After a lengthy walk, they finally arrived at Ava's room. And here we are, Lady Silverwood, Vivienne announced, opening the door to reveal a stunning sight. Ava stood in awe of the beautiful space before her. Feel free to use the bell by the bedside if you need anything, Vivienne added, providing a sense of comfort and assurance. Shortly after, a soft knock echoed at the door, and a group of maids stood patiently, awaiting permission to enter. Vivienne gestured for them to come in, and they formed a line, bowing respectfully and greeting Ava in unison. Lady Silverwood, these maids will be attending to your needs from today onwards. If you have any concerns or are dissatisfied with any aspect of their service, please inform me, and I will address it immediately, Vivienne stated, ensuring Ava felt comfortable voicing her preferences. Vivienne then turned to the maids, giving them a stern glance, silently conveying the importance of their responsibilities and the need for utmost professionalism. I'll give you some space to settle in and get comfortable, Vivienne said, bowing slightly as she prepared to leave. However, before she could make her exit, Ava gently grabbed hold of Vivienne's hand, causing her to freeze in place. Startled by the unexpected contact, Vivienne turned her head slowly, meeting Ava's gaze. The intensity of Ava's sparkling blue eyes caught her off guard. Is there something I can assist you with? Vivienne asked, her voice laced with curiosity. I just wanted to express my gratitude, Ava said, releasing Vivienne's hand. Vivienne let out a relieved sigh. I'm glad I could assist you, she replied sincerely. Once Vivienne departed from Ava's room, she leaned against the wall, taking a moment to collect herself. With a deep breath, she continued on to her own quarters. The fact that Ava thanked me means I must be doing something right, Vivienne mused to herself. If I can continue to be helpful, perhaps Ava will come to see me as a friend instead of a foe. Upon reaching her room, Vivienne summoned Claire to prepare a warm bath, seeking a moment of relaxation and rejuvenation. As she patiently waited for Claire to fulfill her request, a knock echoed through Vivienne's door. Opening it, she was greeted by Milo, dressed comfortably in his pajamas. Vivienne couldn't help but notice how cozy Milo appeared, igniting a fleeting desire to embrace him. However, she swiftly regained her composure and extended a proper greeting. "Sir Milo, is there something I can assist you with?" she inquired politely. "I'm here to inform you about His Highness' future plans for Lady Silverwood," Milo stated, handing a piece of paper to Vivienne. "Wishing you a restful night, Lady Vivienne. Tomorrow will be a busy day." "Thank you, Sir Milo." "Good night," Vivienne replied. "Good night, Lady Vivienne," Milo responded before Vivienne closed the door. Vivienne glanced through the list, which seemed longer than she had expected. 1. Inform His Majesty of Lady Silverwood's presence. 2. Persuade His Majesty to accept Lady Silverwood as the Crown Princess. 3. Arrange classes for Lady Silverwood to prepare her for the role of Crown Princess. 4. Coordinate Lady Silverwood's debut as the Crown Princess. 5. Handle any opposition or dissenting voices. Wow, the Crown Prince is quite confident, assuming that Lady Silverwood will become the Crown Princess without considering the possibility of His Majesty's refusal, Vivienne thought. But Lady Silverwood possesses the protagonist aura, so it's likely that His Majesty will grow to love her eventually. She paused, reflecting on the final point. However, the directive to eliminate someone seems rather harsh. "Lady Vivienne, the bath is ready," Claire informed her. Setting aside the papers on the table, Vivienne made a decision to contemplate them tomorrow. Today, however, she deserved a moment of tranquility and rejuvenation, having devoted the entire day to an extensive journey. "I'm dreading tomorrow," Vivienne groaned, sinking into the warmth of the bath. Chapter 7. "I cannot accept Lady Silverwood as the Crown Princess," declared His Majesty. Well, this is both surprising and not surprising at the same time. Now that I think about it, I've never really known how the main male character convinced his parents to accept the main female character. I guess I'll have to go along with it and see how things unfold, Vivienne pondered. The Crown Prince appeared visibly agitated while Milo and Vivienne sat in silence. "She is the illegitimate daughter of the late Earl Silverwood, and, therefore, no different from a commoner, as she has no claim to her father's fortune and title," explained His Majesty. "Ah yes, the role of being an illegitimate daughter serves as a hurdle for the main character to overcome. From the Crown Prince's reaction, it appears that Milo and I will have to face and conquer this challenge," Vivienne contemplated. As the Crown Prince's objection loomed on the horizon, Milo seized the moment and interjected with his strategic proposal. "With her unique upbringing, we can garner substantial support from the commoners who comprise most of the population. This strategic move can effectively quell any potential uprisings from the lower classes. Furthermore, we can address her educational shortcomings by enlisting devoted tutors who will personally guide her transformation into the epitome of a crown princess and future empress. Once Lady Silverwood's abilities significantly improve, we shall orchestrate a grand ball showcasing her newfound prowess. This spectacular event will leave the noble class with no alternative but to embrace her, as her talents and charm become undeniable." His Majesty nodded. His conviction was evident. "Very well then. I expect to witness the results of Lady Silverwood's abilities within 1 month. If within that time I find her lacking, I will consider other candidates who may be better suited. However, if Lady Silverwood demonstrates her potential, I will publicly announce her as the Crown Princess. Furthermore, I will grace her debut with my presence to showcase my unwavering support. Everyone is dismissed except for Secretary Ravenswood." "So this is the power of being a secretary," Vivienne thought, looking at Milo with admiration. "You can even persuade the Emperor." The room burst with a collective realization as the words of the Emperor's agreement settled in. As he departed, a sense of relief and satisfaction washed over the Crown Prince, his countenance radiating joy. Milo glanced at Vivienne with concern etched on his face, gently whispering, "I'll be right outside. If you ever need assistance, knock on the door 3 times, and I'll come rushing in." Without allowing Vivienne a chance to respond, Milo swiftly exited the room. "Your Majesty, is there anything I can assist you with?" Vivienne inquired. The Emperor's voice resonated, asking, "What are your thoughts on my son?" Vivienne's mind raced, sensing a hidden agenda behind the inquiry. "Why do I get the impression that he's attempting to arrange a match between me and the Crown Prince?" Moreover, answering negatively could have dire consequences, she pondered, carefully formulating a response to navigate the delicate situation. Vivienne composed herself and replied, "His Highness possesses the potential to become a remarkable emperor, following in your esteemed footsteps." Is that so? The emperor mused, his eyes glinting with intrigue. "I must admit, I see great potential in you as his partner. With you by his side, I can envision my son ascending to greatness as an emperor." Vivienne's heart skipped a beat as the emperor's words sank in. She found herself momentarily stunned, struggling to process the unexpected revelation. The weight of the emperor's assumption hung heavy in the air, intensifying the pressure upon her. Summoning her courage, Vivienne carefully responded, "Your Majesty, I am honored by your consideration. However, I must emphasize that His Highness's affections lie elsewhere. It is Lady Silverwood who holds his heart, and I would never wish to disrupt their bond." Vivienne's voice trembled slightly, silently pleading with the emperor to understand her predicament and release her from this delicate and potentially dangerous situation. "Are you not interested in my son or the prospect of becoming an empress?" the emperor inquired, his voice laced with curiosity. "I am content with serving as his secretary," Vivienne swiftly replied, her words filled with certainty. "Well then, should Lady Silverwood fail to meet my expectations, do not be surprised if I consider you as a potential partner for my son," the emperor stated, his tone carrying a hint of possibility. "I firmly believe that Lady Silverwood possesses the qualities necessary to become the future empress." "The first acknowledge that she possesses many attributes that I lack," Vivienne earnestly attempted to convince the emperor, her words bearing a touch of humility. "Her birth may be deemed lacking, but I have yet to encounter another woman who is as exquisitely suited for the role as you," the emperor asserted, his voice brimming with conviction. "But Your Majesty," Vivienne interjected, her tone gentle yet persistent, "the tale of your love with the late empress is legendary, known far and wide. Would you not desire the same for your son, a union rooted in love, marrying someone he truly cherishes?" Vivienne skillfully attempted to steer the conversation in a different direction, appealing to the emperor's experience and the enduring legacy of his romantic connection, hoping to evoke his sentiment and consideration for his son's happiness. "He will grow to love you in due time, just as you will come to love him," the emperor dismissively brushed off Vivienne's statement, seemingly unmoved. "I apologize, Your Majesty, but I have also developed an affection for someone else," Vivienne stated, attempting a different approach, her words gentle yet persistent. The emperor's curiosity was piqued, and he inquired, "And who might this gentleman be?" Vivienne hesitated, grappling with how to respond. "I find myself drawn to Sir Milo," she finally admitted, her voice tinged with affection and uncertainty. Vivienne could feel her face flush with embarrassment as the words left her lips. Her thoughts raced, questioning the depth of her feelings. Why does it feel like I'm laying bare my emotions? While I am deeply fond of Sir Milo, I'm still uncertain if it has blossomed into romantic love yet. The emperor let out a hearty laugh, his amusement was evident. "It appears my plan has taken an unexpected turn. Rather than you falling for my son, you became captivated by his secretary. Very well. I shall not impose this matter upon you any longer. You are now dismissed." Vivienne gracefully curtsied, her heart both relieved and fluttering with anticipation. As she exited the room, she was greeted by the sight of Sir Milo patiently waiting outside. A rush of warmth enveloped her, realizing his genuine concern for her well-being. It was a moment that made Vivienne's heart skip a beat, signaling the depth of their connection. Lady Vivienne Milo's face brightened as he caught sight of Vivienne emerging from the room. "Did His Majesty burden you with a difficult task? Do you require my assistance?" "No, Sir Milo, he didn't assign me any particular task," Vivienne replied, mustering a reassuring smile. "He was simply inquiring about my mother's well-being. You see, they were old acquaintances and he wanted to catch up." Vivienne chose to fabricate a small white lie to protect the emperor's intention, shielding Milo from any potential worry or suspicion. She hoped to preserve the peaceful atmosphere and maintain the sincerity of their connection. "That's a relief," Milo replied with a hint of reassurance. "Let's return to the workroom and devise a plan for Lady Silverwood." As Vivienne glanced around, she couldn't help but wonder about the whereabouts of the crown prince. Curiosity filled her voice as she inquired, "By the way, where did His Highness disappear to?" "He went to see Lady Silverwood," Milo responded, his tone lacking surprise. As Vivienne stepped into the workroom, her thoughts couldn't help but wander to the Crown Prince's predictable pursuit of the female lead. She couldn't suppress a wry smile, noticing the slight strain on his shirt, the button seemingly clinging on for dear life. Her initial assumption of him donning it to showcase his newfound muscularity to his father proved to be a humorous misjudgment. Turning her attention to the task at hand, Vivienne and Milo, the two diligent secretaries, embarked on a deep discussion, their focus fixed on Lady Silverwood's situation. The magnitude of the challenge compelled them to immerse themselves in strategic conversations, brainstorming and formulating a practical plan to breathe life into the agreed-upon vision. Sir Milo, Vivienne inquired, do commoners truly concern themselves with whether their future crown princess is of a legitimate lineage? I'm uncertain myself, but for now we must devise a solution. If the commoners are indifferent, we shall ignite their interest. We must strategize a means to present Lady Silverwood in such a captivating light that they cannot help but be enamored by her. Milo contemplated, his mind abuzz with thoughts on how to execute this plan. Additionally, I think we should have a backup plan to make His Majesty favor Lady Silverwood. We can't just rely on the tutors and Lady Silverwood's skills. I suggest arranging a meeting between them so they can develop a connection, Vivienne proposed. An excellent suggestion, Lady Vivienne, Milo acknowledged. We must ensure Lady Silverwood becomes the crown princess, regardless of the obstacles. This way, both of us can finally attain a balanced work-life schedule, he added with a hint of relief in his voice. Will we truly attain a better working schedule? Vivienne contemplated to herself. And come to think of it, is Lady Silverwood genuinely qualified to assume the role of the future empress? Will the power of the female lead truly assist her in fulfilling that esteemed title? Before making any decisions, I must first observe the situation closely to determine if there is any glimmer of hope. Lady Vivienne, I've gathered a set of papers outlining His Majesty's likes and dislikes. I hope this information will be helpful for your plan, Milo said, handing Vivienne a stack of papers. As Vivienne looked through them, she felt a combination of awe and unease, realizing the importance and challenges associated with the information. Thank you, this will be immensely helpful, Vivienne expressed her gratitude. Regarding the strategy of showcasing Lady Silverwood's positive attributes to the commoners, I believe we should begin by assessing her strengths. Perhaps her skills and qualities can provide assistance in alleviating the commoners' struggles, Vivienne suggested. I understand. By leveraging Lady Silverwood's strengths, we can ensure that she doesn't feel uncomfortable about fabricating details about herself. Well done, Lady Vivienne, Milo acknowledged with satisfaction. I will closely observe Lady Silverwood for the next few days. It seems our plan is off to a promising start, he exclaimed, witnessing his vision gradually manifesting into reality. The two secretaries shared an encouraging cheer, offering support to each other before they went their separate ways to actively work towards making their plan a reality. Lady Silverwood, here is the schedule outlining your preparations to become a crown princess, Vivienne said, handing a piece of paper to Ava. Ava examined the list and grew visibly concerned as she realized how demanding and packed the schedule was. In the corner, the crown prince noticed Ava's troubled expression and became attentive. He approached and carefully reviewed the schedule, casting a disapproving glare in Vivienne's direction. What is the meaning of this schedule? It's far too demanding for her, the crown prince exclaimed, his glare directed at Vivienne, who struggled to maintain her composure. Your Highness, we need to ensure that Lady Silverwood becomes the kind of crown princess that His Majesty will approve of. This is her only opportunity to demonstrate her worthiness for the title. Vivienne attempted to reason, inadvertently adding more pressure on Ava while further fueling the crown prince's anger. Ease her burden, the crown prince insisted, his demand unreasonable yet resolute. Vivienne reconsidered the schedule, pondering over the crown prince's reaction. Ava's schedule is actually less intense than mine, and you find this to be excessive, she thought to herself. Is studying for 6 hours a day, 6 days a week too much? In the modern world, students attend school for 7 hours and dedicate an additional 2 to 4 hours for extra studies 6 to 7 days a week. But if I were to reduce the time, would we still be able to meet our deadline? Ava, displaying her unwavering determination, interrupted Vivienne's thoughts. No, I can handle it, she declared resolutely. Ava, the crown prince attempted to interject, but Ava halted him with a gentle touch. I will be fine, Ava reassured him, her voice filled with determination. I have faced much tougher challenges before. Vivienne stood there, observing the interaction between the two, feeling a bit awkward and uncertain about her role. Their loving glances and unspoken connection made her wonder if she had missed some significant development in their relationship. Perhaps it's best if I give them some privacy, Vivienne thought, feeling like an outsider at that moment. I seem to be unintentionally intruding on their intimate moment. I'll take my leave, Vivienne announced abruptly, her movements quick and purposeful as she made a hasty exit from the room. It felt as if the room itself were engulfed in flames, urging her to escape the awkward atmosphere. With a determined resolve, Vivienne reaffirmed her mission within her mind. The journey to transform Lady Silverwood into a worthy crown princess begins now. Chapter 8. Plan 1 Education of Lady Silverwood, led by Secretary Vivienne. Dancing lessons, etiquette training, language classes, mathematics instruction, agricultural studies, economics seminars, political education, and historical studies. Vivienne mentally listed various subjects. Each one held vital importance in shaping Lady Silverwood's skills and knowledge. Lady Silverwood, lift your gaze and maintain good posture. You're off by 1 beat, the instructor's stern voice persisted while Ava exerted her utmost effort to catch up. Vivienne closely monitored the progress, hoping for continual improvement. She also made sure to keep a watchful eye on the instructor, ensuring that the female lead wasn't subjected to mistreatment or unfair treatment during the lessons. Unbeknownst to Vivienne, the instructor found themselves sweating profusely under her piercing gaze. The intensity of Vivienne's penetrating stare made it clear that any mistreatment of the female lead would not be tolerated. The instructor, overwhelmed with nerves, became even more conscientious and cautious in their approach, ensuring they treated the female lead with utmost respect and fairness. That will be all for today. Lady Silverwood, I recommend taking some time to rest and rejuvenate, ensuring you have enough energy for our next class. Remember, proper rest is essential, and don't push yourself too hard, the instructor advised. As Ava took a break to rest, Vivienne approached the instructor. The instructor was taken aback by Vivienne's approach, attempting to hide their trembling nerves. Is there anything I can assist you with? Secretary Ravenswood, the instructor inquired, struggling to maintain a composed facade. Provide me with an update on her progress, Vivienne requested. The instructor replied, attempting to offer reassurance. She is an exceptional student and is making excellent progress. I believe she will be ready within 1 month. Vivienne let out a sigh of relief, comforted by the news. At least she won't embarrass herself during her coming-of-age ceremony. Dancing holds great significance in this world, she thought to herself. The instructor misunderstood Vivienne's sigh and assumed it was a sign of disappointment, causing panic to well up within him. Keep up the excellent work, Vivienne reassured the instructor before departing, her intention being to check on Ava's well-being. The instructor breathed a sigh of relief, realizing his mistake, and swiftly retreated, grateful to have escaped the perceived disapproval. Lady Silverwood, are you feeling all right? Your next class is the history lesson, Vivienne inquired, offering a refreshing drink to Ava. Yes, I'm fine. Please lead the way, Ava replied. Vivienne couldn't help but feel a sense of sympathy for Ava, but she was determined to support her to the best of her abilities. Plan 2 Discovering Lady Silverwood's Strengths, led by Secretary Milo. Fortunately, it appears that Lady Silverwood possesses a sharp intellect. We might be able to impress His Majesty within 1 month. However, I sense that we shouldn't push Lady Silverwood too hard, Milo pondered to himself while observing Lady Silverwood confidently answering questions. She deserves a well-deserved break, he thought, acknowledging the need for some rest. Milo discreetly signaled to the teacher, indicating that it was time to conclude the day's lesson. That will be all for today, Lady Silverwood, the teacher announced. What? Already, Ava exclaimed in surprise. You have demonstrated a remarkable grasp of the subject. We will continue with this topic at a later time, the teacher offered an excuse before quietly departing. Milo seized the opportunity to delve into Ava's strengths. Lady Silverwood, taking a break is beneficial for your well-being. I have prepared some food and drinks for you. Please indulge yourself, Milo said, recalling Vivienne's advice. A happy person is someone who has a full tummy, Milo thought, Lady Vivienne is such a funny and smart person. Thank you, Secretary Crestwell. I gladly accept this offer, Ava expressed with gratitude, beginning to relish the food before her. Lady Silverwood, has the lesson been too challenging for you? Please inform me if you feel overwhelmed. Milo initiated the conversation. Oh no, these lessons have been delightful. I never had the opportunity when I was younger, but I am fortunate to have it now, so I am thoroughly enjoying it, Ava replied with enthusiasm. That's wonderful to hear. You have been excelling in your lessons. I heard that His Highness intends to reward you with some jewels. Do you have any preferences? Milo asked discreetly. I don't really care much about jewels, Ava responded. Then, is there something else you desire? Milo inquired further. I am already content with what I have, Ava replied contentedly. Milo sensed that Ava possessed a modest and unselfish nature, which reassured him that the royal funds would not be depleted hastily. Moreover, observing Ava's extensive knowledge of herbs during the agriculture class, Milo had a brilliant idea. Thus, he decided to shift the topic of conversation. You possess the qualities of a future crown princess, kindness and benevolence. The commoners would adore you, Milo remarked. You flatter me too much. I still have much to learn in order to become a good princess. I don't even know what the commoners truly desire. I wish I could be of assistance to them. Secretary Cresswell, is there any way I can be of help? Ava inquired earnestly. I've heard that the medical team is in need of volunteers. Your knowledge of herbs could greatly assist in healing many patients, Milo suggested. I only gathered herbs for survival when I was living in the north. I doubt my knowledge is as extensive as the teachers, Ava modestly replied, blushing slightly at the kind compliment. However, if the commoners are in need of help, I would be more than willing to join the medical team and assist them. Milo felt a surge of joy as he saw Ava willingly embracing his plan. I will inform the medical team immediately. They will be thrilled to have an additional pair of hands to help them, Milo said, swiftly arranging for Ava to integrate into the medical team seamlessly. Plan 3: Cultivating His Majesty's affection for Lady Silverwood, led by Secretary Vivienne. As Vivienne hid in the bushes, she couldn't help but think, it's so typical that His Majesty loves red roses, because they remind him of the late Empress peeking through the leaves. She added, I'm glad this is an Isekai world, otherwise, these bushes would be full of prickly thorns. And it would be painful to hide here. Not only that, the fashion in this world is a mix of old-fashioned medieval European style and modern looks. If I were to wear those big, poofy sleeves, it would be hard for me to hide. Lady Silverwood is in the right position. Check. She's carrying His Majesty's favorite lemon pie in her basket. Check. I have my snack ready. Check. His Majesty should be arriving soon. Oh, there he is. Yes, he's noticed her. Now let the magic of the female lead's natural beauty, amidst the beautiful roses, captivate him and make him fall in love, Vivienne exclaimed with excitement as she observed the scene before her. Ava Silverwood, greet His Majesty, the Emperor. Ava quickly greets the Emperor so as not to come off as rude. Greeting, Lady Silverwood, what brings you here in this location? The Emperor asked. I've heard that the rose garden here is renowned for its exquisite beauty, Vivienne commented, and I have a fondness for red roses. They possess a captivating charm that allows you to convey feelings of love to those closest to your heart. A brief silence fell upon the Emperor, and Vivienne sensed his mind drifting into a nostalgic reverie. Excellent. The plan is taking effect. Keep pondering the words of the late Empress, Vivienne thought to herself, acknowledging the necessity of her actions, even if it meant toying with the Emperor's emotions. I apologize for toying with your heart, Your Majesty, but I must secure my own future as well. Vivienne observed the scene with a mixture of excitement and determination. Oh, I apologize if I have unintentionally offended you. I shall take my leave. Ava Waga swiftly began packing her belongings. However, before she could depart, the Emperor interjected. Interesting, the Emperor smiled. I can understand why my son holds you in such high regard. Yes, the obnoxious keyword is here, Vivienne exclaimed while munching on her snack to contain her excitement. The power of the female lead. All the effort spent poring over those documents has paid off, she thought, feeling deep satisfaction. Afterward, Vivienne continued to watch the scene unfold, observing the Emperor and the female lead happily connecting over the lemon pie. A feeling of happiness rose within her, knowing that she would soon be able to inform Milo that the Emperor had grown fonder of the female lead through their interaction. Plan 4: Fostering Commoners' Admiration for Lady Silverwood, led by Secretary Milo. Thank you for curing me, young lady, the elderly man expressed with deep gratitude, his eyes fixed upon Ava. Ava's face radiated warmth as she responded, I'm glad I could be of assistance. Everyone deserves to receive care and compassion, regardless of their age. It's a fundamental right. Ava's words resonated deeply with the older man, and a tear of appreciation welled up in his eyes, reflecting the profound impact her kindness had on him. Meanwhile, Milo observed Lady Silverwood's dedicated care with admiration. Lady Silverwood continues to excel in providing exceptional care to her patients, he thought, impressed by her unwavering commitment. This marks the 10th patient she has successfully helped on the path to recovery today. As Milo's attention shifted, he noticed the presence of a journalist in the vicinity. Intrigued by their presence, he turned his focus toward them, pondering the potential significance of their arrival and the implications it might have for their shared mission. Did you witness that? Milo exclaimed with excitement, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Make sure to capture it in a painting as well. Let the news spread far and wide that the crown princess descended to the infirmary to personally tend to the citizens. Simultaneously, Milo handed the journalist a substantial sum of gold, ensuring their cooperation in spreading the news. The journalist's face lit up with delight upon receiving the generous reward, eager to fulfill their role. Rest assured, the journalist responded enthusiastically, by tomorrow morning, everyone will be acquainted with the Crown Princess' benevolent act. In this way, Milo and the journalist formed an alliance, working in tandem to ensure that the selfless gesture of the Crown Princess would be shared across the realm, inspiring hope and admiration among the people. The plans had been successfully implemented, instilling confidence in the two secretaries as they approached the Emperor's looming one-month deadline. Chapter 9. Today is an important day. We've planted all the seeds, and now we hope with all our might that it will work, Vivienne thought. At the moment, everyone is gathered in His Majesty's workroom. Only 5 people are present. We want to keep the event details as secret as possible. The 2 secretaries are standing, busily preparing snacks and drinks, while the other 3 are seated around the small round table. The test had already begun, and the Emperor was scrutinizing every action taken by Ava. Silence filled the room, interrupted only by the 3 individuals enjoying snacks and drinks. Everyone refrained from speaking, waiting for the Emperor to break the silence. Lady Silverwood, could you please enlighten me about the shortcomings our country is presently facing? The Emperor inquired. The first question is here. You've got this, Ava. Just as we've rehearsed, Vivienne silently encouraged Ava. Presently, our medical care suffers from a shortage of qualified staff. Therefore, I believe it is crucial to address the shortcomings within our education system, Ava began explaining. As Ava spoke, the 2 secretaries remained rigid, visibly nervous. In contrast, the Crown Prince appeared delighted to hear Ava's insights on the kingdom's matters. I see you've made an excellent point. I will consider this idea and discuss it with my assistant, the Emperor responded, visibly impressed. You're aware of the 4 families that played a crucial role in forming our empire, correct? In your opinion, which family do you think is best suited to take charge of the education system? Ava contemplated the question, taking a small sip of tea, and inadvertently raising her pinky, which immediately caught the attention of the 2 secretaries. Vivienne's eyes widened as she recognized the signal, indicating Ava's uncertainty in formulating a response. She swiftly shifted her gaze to Milo, who was already engrossed in writing down a few words of guidance. Recognizing the urgency, Vivienne skillfully took charge, deftly pouring more tea into the cups of all 3 guests, expertly diverting their attention away from Ava's momentary hesitation. Would you care for a refill of tea? Your Majesty, Vivienne politely inquired. Yes, please. I would appreciate some more, the Emperor replied, oblivious to any unusual occurrences. After finishing writing, Milo raised the first paper, displaying the words Ravenswood family. He then revealed the second paper. They specialize in administration. Finally, he presented the third paper, which mentioned their reputation for strict discipline. Observing the information on the papers, Ava swiftly comprehended and regained her confidence to respond. With utmost confidence, I believe that the Ravenswood family is exceptionally suited to oversee the education system. Their renowned reputation for strict discipline ensures that attending students develop into law-abiding citizens. Additionally, given their involvement in administration, the Ravenswood family possesses extensive knowledge about the current state of the empire. This knowledge equips them to design an appropriate curriculum that effectively educates the people, Ava expressed confidently. The emperor nodded, showing he agreed. They continued to exchange ideas, with Milo and Vivienne occasionally assisting Ava. The crown prince stayed quiet the entire time, making it easier for Milo and Vivienne to manage the discussion. As the snacks dwindled, the emperor decided to change the activity. "Lady Silverwood, would you do me the honor of dancing with me?" the emperor proposed. "It would be my utmost pleasure," Ava accepted graciously. In the background, the crown prince appeared slightly displeased but remained silent. Vivienne and Milo began playing the violin, creating a pleasant ambience for the emperor and Ava's dance. As the final notes of the melody faded, the emperor expressed great delight at Ava's remarkable dancing skills. It was evident to everyone present that the emperor was highly pleased with Ava, yet they eagerly awaited his official declaration. "Lady Silverwood, you have demonstrated beyond doubt that you possess the capabilities to become the crown princess. You have my full support," the emperor exclaimed cheerfully. "I am grateful for this tremendous honor bestowed upon me," Ava replied graciously. A collective sigh of relief filled the room as tension dissipated. The crown prince promptly rose from his seat, lifting Ava and spinning her around with sheer joy. Meanwhile, the two secretaries exchanged congratulatory cheers, acknowledging their successful role in the proceedings. One obstacle has been overcome. Now, the next steps involve preparing for the debutante ceremony, the engagement ceremony, the wedding ceremony, and ultimately the crowning ceremony. It's quite a series of ceremonies, Vivienne pondered, her thoughts swirling as she considered the upcoming events. "I can't even consider merging two ceremonies together, as I'm certain the crown prince would throw a fit if we suggested it. You two, take the rest of the day off. You've done an excellent job," the crown prince unexpectedly declared, directing his words toward the two secretaries. The secretaries exchanged bewildered glances, caught off guard by the unexpected gesture from the crown prince. However, without wasting a moment, they seized the opportunity and swiftly made their exit before the crown prince could change his mind. After parting ways and retreating to their rooms, Vivienne felt uncertain as it was only midday. However determined and courageous, she seized the opportunity and invited Milo to a lunch date. "Will Sir Milo be willing to join me for lunch, just the two of us? Should I consider this a date? Is he prepared for this? No, I shouldn't overthink it. Let's frame it as a celebratory lunch outing." "Yes, that feels more appropriate for now," Vivienne contemplated quietly, positioning herself in front of Milo's door. Just a simple knock, she reminded herself, and deeply breathed. Just as Vivienne was about to knock on the door, it swung open on its own, revealing Milo dressed in remarkably casual attire. "Wow, I've never seen Sir Milo dressed so casually before. I'm used to seeing him in his formal secretary uniform," Vivienne thought, her eyes taking in Milo's outfit. Surprised to see Vivienne standing at his door, Milo asked, "Lady Vivienne, is there something I can assist you with?" With a hopeful smile, Vivienne mustered up the courage and asked, "I was wondering if you would like to join me for lunch to celebrate our first accomplishment." Milo's face lit up as he responded, "That sounds wonderful. Let's go, since I already need to step out anyway." Vivienne's joy overflowed, and she silently cheered for herself, triumphantly inviting Milo out for lunch. The lunch outing unfolded precisely as Vivienne had imagined. They strolled side by side, relishing the delightful weather, and found themselves in a charming restaurant that exuded an ideal ambience, neither too crowded nor too empty. Engrossed in their conversation, Vivienne remained blissfully unaware of the unexpected encounter about to unfold. Only when Milo discreetly gestured towards a peculiar couple across the room was Vivienne's curiosity piqued. "Is that His Highness and Lady Silverwood?" Milo asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Vivienne glanced discreetly at the couple, both of whom had donned plain clothing and hats in an attempt to blend in. However, their distinctive hair colors couldn't be concealed so easily. "How likely is it to encounter a girl with pink hair and a guy with golden hair?" Vivienne mused, desperately trying to convince herself they could be entirely someone else. "Only the royal family possesses hair of such shades of gold. And I have yet to come across anyone with pink hair like Lady Silverwood, Milo replied, his tone filled with awe and realization. Hoping to divert attention away from themselves, Vivienne inquired further, and what about individuals with black or brown hair? Black and brown hair are quite common, Milo replied, his gaze fixed on Vivienne. But your distinct red eyes, like no other, are truly unique. Vivienne and Milo discreetly observed the Crown Prince and Ava, who were engrossed in their affectionate bubble. The air around the couple buzzed with whispered sweet nothings and adoring glances. Determined to maintain a low profile, Vivienne and Milo tried to blend into the background, silently praying that their presence would go unnoticed. I suppose this is why we were granted some time off, Vivienne whispered, attempting to shield her face by discreetly averting her gaze from the couple. It appears that no matter where we go, His Highness manages to find us, Milo sighed, a touch of resignation in his voice. Vivienne pondered their options and turned to Milo, asking, "What do you think we should do? Should we stay and pretend not to notice them, or should we make a swift exit?" Before Milo could respond, Ava's eyes landed on them, and her face lit up with delight. "Oh, Secretary Cresswell and Secretary Ravenswood. How delightful to run into you here," Ava exclaimed happily, promptly seating herself next to Vivienne. Vivienne couldn't help but flinch at the unexpected proximity while the Crown Prince sat beside Milo. Despite seeing them just a few hours ago, the two secretaries found themselves unexpectedly stuck with the two protagonists. Vivienne exchanged a bewildered glance with Milo, both sharing the same sense of confusion regarding the unexpected circumstances they found themselves in. When Vivienne's gaze shifted towards the Crown Prince, she couldn't help but notice a touch of displeasure on his face as he sat beside them. Meanwhile, Ava, seemingly oblivious to the subtle tension in the air, maintained her cheerful demeanor and engaged in lively conversation with everyone at the table. "This feels like having dinner with your boss," Vivienne thought, feeling awkward as she shifted uncomfortably. The awkward atmosphere lingered, casting a shadow over the lunch outing. Vivienne and Milo remained composed, their expressions carefully neutral as they navigated the conversation. It was as if they were walking on a tightrope, trying to maintain a delicate balance between acknowledging the situation and preserving a sense of normalcy. Despite the underlying discomfort, Ava's contagious enthusiasm managed to diffuse some of the tension, and the lunch carried on with intermittent bursts of laughter and friendly exchanges. Vivienne and Milo silently hoped that the awkwardness would eventually fade away, allowing them to enjoy the remainder of the meal without the weight of the unexpected company. As the minutes dragged on, Vivienne couldn't help but feel like they had been stuck in this situation for an eternity, despite it only being half an hour. She desperately wanted to escape and subtly tried to signal to Milo that they should leave. Milo, catching on to Vivienne's hint, smoothly interrupted the conversation. "Sorry to interrupt, Your Highness and Lady Silverwood, but Secretary Ravenswood and I have some personal matters to attend to today. We only had a short lunch break, and it was about to end, so we'll need to take our leave." "Oh, that's too bad. It was nice spending time together. We should do this more often," Ava remarked cheerfully. While Ava expressed her desire for future meetups, the unspoken consensus among the others was quite the opposite. Everyone silently echoed the sentiment, "Let's not repeat this experience." After successfully exiting, Vivienne and Milo let out a sigh of relief. "It seems like we've been sighing quite frequently," Vivienne commented, recognizing the recurring relief they had been expressing. Milo nodded in agreement, adding, "It's unfortunate to feel this way. We're only in our early 20s, after all." "Sir Milo, you mentioned having something to do outside. Can I come along? I don't have anything else to do," Vivienne asked. "I was planning to go to the bank." "You're welcome to join me," Milo replied. Vivienne's face lit up with excitement at the opportunity to accompany Milo on his errand. She was grateful to spend more time together outside of work. They set off toward the bank with newfound anticipation, ready for some adventure. Upon reaching the bank, Milo disappeared into a separate room, leaving Vivienne to her own devices. Curiosity piqued. She decided to check the balance of her bank account. Vivienne's eyes widened in astonishment as she scanned the numbers on the paper. "Wow, I have quite a substantial amount of money," she whispered to herself, a mix of surprise and delight coursing through her. Having dedicated herself to her role as a secretary for so long, She had momentarily forgotten about her financial standing. A surge of possibilities flooded her mind as she contemplated how to make use of her newfound wealth. Should I invest in property? Or perhaps indulge in some exquisite jewelry? Vivienne pondered, although she couldn't help but remember that she already owned such items. A satisfied smile formed as she realized she had now faced the problems commonly associated with wealth. This feels good, Vivienne happily concluded, taking a moment to appreciate the wealth she had accumulated, allowing herself to revel in the newfound joy of experiencing what she playfully dubbed a rich people's problem. As Milo reappeared, Vivienne's gaze shifted towards the large box he carried, a perplexed expression on her face. "What's inside the box, Sir Milo?" Vivienne inquired, her curiosity piqued. Milo's eyes gleamed with purpose as he explained, "There's money inside this box, and I plan to use it to acquire the necessary equipment for providing healthcare to underprivileged individuals. If there's any remaining, I intend to donate it as well. I firmly believe that a healthier society leads to increased productivity. While there are undoubtedly other significant issues to tackle, I believe starting with this is crucial." Vivienne couldn't help but feel a pang of shame wash over her as she realized she had not been proactive in using her resources to make a difference. "Please wait a moment," Vivienne interjected, a newfound determination in her voice. She swiftly withdrew some money from her account. "I want to contribute too," Vivienne declared earnestly. "I may be new to this, but I am eager to learn how to utilize my resources to help others. Please guide me on the path of making a meaningful impact." Milo's eyes softened with appreciation, and he nodded, impressed by Vivienne's willingness to join the cause. Together they began discussing ways to channel their resources effectively, embarking on a journey to bring about positive change in the lives of those less fortunate. Chapter 10. Earl Henry Pembroke, she stated firmly, her gaze fixed on him. "I demand an explanation. How did your daughter, Lady Sophia Pembroke, manage to gain unauthorized access to His Highness's bedroom?" Earl Pembroke's face paled and a wave of fear washed over him as he met Vivienne's intense gaze. The piercing intensity of her red eyes seemed to unnerve him, his instinctual response urging him to flee from her presence. In contrast, the daughter of Earl Henry Pembroke glared at Vivienne with a look of disdain. Her eyes carried a mix of resentment and determination, as if viewing Vivienne as a mere barrier to the budding romance between the Crown Prince and herself. She clearly saw Vivienne as an unwelcome obstacle, refusing to back down and challenging Vivienne's authority with her defiant gaze. "I now terminate your employment, and both you and your daughter are now banned from entering the royal palace," Vivienne declared firmly, her tone resolute, as her inquiries went unanswered by the father and daughter. "You can't do this to me," the Earl protested. "You don't have the authority." In response, Vivienne firmly grasped the Earl's shoulder and guided him down, forcing him into kneeling. As the Earl looked up, he found himself facing Vivienne's intense gaze, her striking red eyes seeming to pierce through his very being. With a commanding presence, Vivienne revealed her royal badge, causing the Earl's face to be pale with realization. The daughter's voice trembled with anger and desperation as she pointed an accusatory finger at Vivienne. "You're nothing but a wicked witch. You've been abusing your authority as His Highness's secretary, using it to win his affection. But mark my words, one day he will uncover your true nature and realize how terrible you are." Vivienne maintained her composure, her gaze steady and unwavering. She refused to let the daughter's words penetrate her resolve, understanding the pain and frustration that motivated her defense of her father. Instead of engaging in a verbal confrontation, Vivienne chose a different path. "Guards, escort them out," Vivienne commanded, her voice firm and unwavering. The guards promptly seized Earl Pembroke and his daughter, leading them out of the Crown Prince's office. Vivienne gently massaged her temples to relieve the mounting stress that accompanied such encounters. Being labeled a wicked witch again this month, she sighed inwardly, contemplating the toll it took on her. "My hands are already full with paperwork and meetings to attend. Now I must handle this as well. Perhaps it's time to consider requesting a well-deserved raise for the added responsibilities." Reflecting on the situation, Vivienne couldn't help but wonder how many more individuals of a similar ilk would emerge. The persistence of these delusional girls convinced they stood a chance with the Crown Prince weighed heavily on her mind. She longed for the debutante to arrive, hoping it would quell their misguided aspirations and end the unnecessary dramas that seemed to surround the royal court. Milo stepped into the office and immediately noticed the commotion unfolding before him. With a quick glance, he pieced together the situation, understanding the events that had transpired in his absence. Yet another instance of a noble daughter attempting to sneak into His Highness's bedroom. This marks the third occurrence this month, Milo remarked, his tone tinged with disbelief and amusement. Vivienne nodded, a hint of exasperation in her voice. Indeed, it is the third time already. Thankfully, His Highness has been staying in Lady Silverwood's quarters as of late. It saves me the trouble of dealing with his grumpy face, she replied, a slight smirk on her lips. I will need to find a suitable replacement for Earl Pembroke. Vivienne sighed, her shoulders slumping slightly under her increasing workload. Milo offered her a document, his expression reflecting pride and satisfaction. Here is a list of qualified candidates. Ever since you suggested hiring commoners to replace the corrupt nobles, it has become much easier to find deserving individuals to fill these positions. Vivienne nodded, a determined glint in her eyes. Qualifications should not be limited to titles alone. Everyone deserves a fair chance, regardless of their background. We must provide equal opportunities to all, allowing talent to rise above social status. She declared, scanning through the list of candidates with a renewed sense of purpose. Lady Vivienne, how are the preparations for Lady Silverwood's debutante progressing? Milo inquired. The dress is ready, all the invitations have been sent to the guests, and the decorations are complete. Lady Silverwood is going to shine next week, Vivienne replied confidently. That's excellent news. Have you decided on what you'll be wearing for the ball? Milo asked. Vivienne hadn't thought much about wearing anything extravagant, so Milo's question prompted her to pause and reflect. I believe I'll wear my uniform. Since I'll need to be on alert that day, it would be easier for the staff to identify me if any issues arise. Lady Vivienne, you could take a break on that day. I can oversee things for you, Milo suggested. No need, I've already experienced my debutante, so I don't attach much importance to this one, Vivienne responded. Very well, but remember, I'm always here to assist you, Milo said, reassuringly smiling. The door to the workroom swung open, catching the attention of the two secretaries. To their astonishment, it was none other than His Highness himself. The secretaries were taken aback by the unusual sight of the Crown Prince, as he didn't burst through the door in his usual assertive manner. As the Crown Prince took his seat, everyone followed their usual routine, but this time he remained seated, wearing a forlorn expression that resembled a rejected puppy. The two secretaries exchanged uncertain glances, unsure how to address the Crown Prince's newfound behavior. Feeling a sense of sympathy for the Crown Prince, Vivienne mustered the courage to inquire, Your Highness, is there anything I can do to assist you? In a sulking tone, the Crown Prince revealed, Ava has forbidden me from entering her bedroom throughout this entire week. Vivienne couldn't help but think, is he genuinely upset about that? The conflicting emotions swirled within her as she struggled to respond appropriately. Does she have a specific reason for not wanting you to enter her bedroom at night? Vivienne inquired, curious about the situation. She claims that I am the reason she's been having trouble sleeping, and she needs plenty of rest for the debutante next week, the Crown Prince explained with a hint of disappointment. Vivienne silently mused, so she needs her beauty sleep. That's crucial, especially considering the pressure and potential scrutiny she may face that day. Ensuring she gets sufficient rest will undoubtedly benefit her. You'll still have the opportunity to spend time with her during breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Vivienne reassured him. But I also want to spend time with her at night, the Crown Prince insisted. Vivienne couldn't help but speculate, all right, they must have been engaging in more intimate activities for a while now. It's understandable why Lady Silverwood might have trouble sleeping, she silently acknowledged. It's good to know their relationship is progressing positively. Here, Your Highness, have some chocolate. It'll be over in a week, Vivienne offered sympathetically. The Crown Prince reluctantly accepted the chocolate, sinking deeper into his self-pity. Meanwhile, the two secretaries discreetly returned to their work, attempting to ignore the Crown Prince's presence. Ava, the Crown Prince whispered in silence. Vivienne couldn't shake off the unease that crept over her as she observed the Crown Prince's increasingly peculiar behavior. As he sank deeper into self-pity, Vivienne reached her breaking point. She couldn't tolerate it any longer and devised a plan to kick out the Crown Prince from his office. "Your Highness, I believe Lady Silverwood would be displeased to witness such behavior from you," Vivienne suggested, her voice gentle yet firm. "Considering Lady Silverwood's fondness for gardens, I propose a gesture that might soften her heart. Sending her different colored roses daily could show your sincerity, and perhaps pave the way for her to welcome you back into her bedroom." "I will personally order the gardener to carry out the task." The Crown Prince perked up at Vivienne's suggestion. Sensing an opportunity, Vivienne quickly interjected. "Your Highness, if you were to handpick the roses yourself, it would have a greater impact on Lady Silverwood. The personal touch would touch her heart deeply. Furthermore, please allow me to bandage you to ensure your fingers don't get hurt during the process." Vivienne swiftly retrieved a first aid kit, skillfully wrapping the bandages around the prince's fingers as she spoke. Vivienne's mind danced with mischievous thoughts as she contemplated the outcome. This way, the female lead will believe that the Crown Prince has endured great suffering, preventing her from pitying him and taking him back, she thought, a sly smile on her lips. "Do you truly believe this will be effective?" the Crown Prince inquired, seeking reassurance. "I am absolutely certain," Vivienne replied confidently, her eyes gleaming with determination. "However, there is a crucial rule: you must give exactly 3 roses daily, no more, no less. Lady Silverwood holds great significance to the number 3 in relation to love, so it must be adhered to. With this gesture, you will communicate 'I love you' to her in a way that resonates with her deeply." After hearing Vivienne's suggestion, the Crown Prince's face brightened, and he swiftly exited the room, bringing a sense of tranquility to the previously bustling workroom. "Nice and peaceful once again, don't you agree, Sir Milo?" Vivienne remarked, expecting a response. However, she was met with Milo's unwavering focus on the documents before him. Sir Milo, Vivienne called again but still received no response, which was highly unusual for someone as attentive as Milo. Curiosity piqued, Vivienne approached Milo's desk, intent on capturing his attention. As Milo finally noticed her presence, he seemed surprised by her proximity. "Lady Vivienne, is there something I can assist you with?" Milo asked, removing an earplug from one ear, indicating that he had been engrossed in something else. Vivienne's eyes landed on the earplugs, and she realized how Milo had skillfully tuned out the Crown Prince's presence. "Where did you obtain those earplugs? And how would you know when His Highness calls for you if you wore them?" Vivienne inquired, genuinely curious. "I acquired these earplugs from the medical team. I have plenty so that you can have a pair too. As for knowing when His Highness requires my attention, he usually signals it by slamming the table. His communication style is rather minimal, consisting mostly of grumbles, which can easily distract me from my work," Milo explained. "I see. I would gladly accept a pair," Vivienne replied, contemplating the convenience of wearing earplugs instead of devising strategies to remove the Crown Prince from his office every time. The 2 secretaries resumed their usual tasks, diligently attending to their work. At the same time, the Crown Prince immersed himself in the mission of selecting the most exquisite roses from the palace garden. Day after day, he presented the carefully chosen blooms to Ava, whose heart melted with each heartfelt gesture. On the 3rd day, the Crown Prince was once again welcomed into her bedroom at night.